the first primordial nada, shabda, pranava shabda, pranava nada. We'll look at it because we look at layers of it as we go along with the next 1 hour. We will start sharing our screen and we will also try to show you some short films as we go along. Okay, so we'll start sharing our screen to start with. I hope all of you can see our screens. Good.
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much, Shraddhaji. Thank you. So the idea of Om, which is a primordial sound, which starts from the moment of the Big Bang, what we in Indian knowledge system called as Brahmanda Visfotak. The word Visfotak means explosion, so Brahmanda Visfotak, the universal explosion. From that moment onwards, we have this sound, eternal sound of Om, which is what we will see as it traverses through time. And when you have this pranava, Om, as we call it, which is it's not we call it, that's a sound that's there in the universe, Om. So we call it because it's there. And it's got various names by which we know of it. You'll see that. We call it the primordial sound. We call it creation, begins with the sound. Shrishti, that's creation. Srijan begins with the sound. It's actually the first breath of this Srishti, this creation. And it's since then being echoing in this universe. Because it's echoing, it's a vibration. Obviously, sound is a vibration. So it's a vibration of the existence of the universe. And it's also a Hindu symbol. That's how we can see it. And we'll see the meanings of the layers of each one of them as we go along. Let's see how the source of the sound probably came about. We have the Trishul here. All of you know that. And if you look at this Trishul shape, and if we sort of stylize it and use it, what do we get? This is what we all know the Trishul shape to be. And look at this similarity in a Harappan seal, which is what we get, is one of the motifs. It's got the tree, the leaves, unicorn. I'm trying to merge the two for us to understand from an archaeological side as well as from the legends how it's shown. And the same Trishul, look at how it forms an Omkaram. In Sanskritam, you show Om like this. Or do you show it in Hindi? See it across languages, we'll see now. It merges so beautifully. In Tamil, the other ancient language of the civilization, Telugu, because there are quite a few people in this audience today whose mother tongue is Telugu. Kannadam, another language from South. Look at everywhere. Look at have you ever thought of the similarity in the shape of Om, different forms? In Malayalam too. I know Dr. Chris is there. That's his mother tongue. And I'm sure a few others also may be. In English also, you see the ma there. Isn't it? So or not, we see that, okay? So Om is there. You see it all language across the land. And let's see the journey of Om across the world now. How it's traveled. See, this is a journey. It's an international journey. The way all of us do international travel today, that's also travel. Not now, but millennia ago. If you look at Om in India, this is a symbol that's been there from 3000 BCE, 5000 BCE, and even probably a few millennia before that. The symbol of Om goes in India. We have seen it, as we've seen in many ways, in archaeologically, in literature, in palm leaves, everywhere. The point is, this Om as a symbol and as a sound, Om traveled to Egypt. And you have the temple of Amun there. And you can see this couple standing in the foreground of the temple of Amun about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So that's there. So this temple of Amun, and what do they say there? The word Amun originates from Om. That's what the Egyptologists say. So in Thebes Karnak, that says, similarly in Greece, if you see, Omega, that's a lowercase. So look at how Omega is uppercase, the same Trishul shape, uppercase of Omega that you see there. So beautiful, isn't it? So, and what does this stand for? Velocity, angular velocity. And this symbol has been there from 1000 BC. That's about 2000 to 4000 years after India. So that's there in Greece, ancient Greece, you got Omega. And this sound, Om, this symbol, this knowledge, Om, which is Amun in the Egyptian civilization, in the pharaonic civilization. Look at this, it was later converted to a church. The same alcove, you see the back behind us, you can see this alcove there of Amun, which is now a church. This Amun went two things, went north from there to Italy, Rome, Vatican, and became Amen. See, Amun is the source for Amen, a millennia later. And it goes eastwards across the Red Sea into Arabia and becomes Amin in the Arabic language. Look at the beauty of it. So from Om, it travels to Amun. And we don't say it. This is said by the Egyptologists themselves. And what do you use English language for that? Omni, omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscience, all this. The English language is about 800 years old. So from 1200 CE onwards, you have this Omni. So look at how this word Om has journeyed across the world. Isn't it wonderful to see a nice, simple journey of Om? First, we saw the symbol. Now we saw the way the word itself has shared across the world. Now you can see it's all over the world. We have this in different parts. For example, we'll show you some samples now. Look at this. Look at this in the Bali script in Indonesia island. Look at the Om there, the same shape there. This is the Bali language, the script, how they show Om. Then you can see in the Javanese script, look at that, how it is said. You know, different parts of the world you can go to. Look at this in China, it's called Dao. The same Om is called as Dao, from which comes your Tao and all that. So Dao, look at that. It again speaks about the eternal principle of the universe, the source of all being and non-being, that which brings in peace, harmony, and understanding, balance.
Yeah, we need to just make a note of this, the source of all being and non-being, because we will be touching upon this point a few minutes down the line.
Look at this, in the Tibetan script, how the Om looks. So you see it's across languages, across scripts. And in the Farsi language, Persian is an anglicized form of the word, Persia. In the Farsi language, in the Zen Avastha, Om is called a hum. The ha is added to it there. The word Sindh, Hind, so the ha is added there. So it will hum there. And if you go further, look at this, how it is written in the Arabic language. Alif, Lam, He. And if you add all this, the first letters, you get Allah. The God in the Arabic language. Look at that. So again, and look at that, we turn it around, what do you get? The same format. So we already seen in the symbol of Om in the temple of Amun, and look at it is called the Eye of Amun. Look at the shape, the Eye of Amun. And we move on to, here is a place called Georgia. Okay, this is the kingdom of Georgia near Armenia. It's between the Black Sea and Caspian Sea. You can see that. But the Georgia is a very, very, what you call colonial name. It's not the original name of the place at all. It's a colonial name. the old name of this land is Sakartello. That's the original name of the land. And they have the symbol of Om like this in their native tongue and in the native script. And who is saying, because when I happened to discuss this with one of the scientists at the Max Planck Institute in Germany, he's a theoretical physicist, is talking to him about Om and all this many years ago, about more than a decade ago. He says that our land, Georgia, is a very, very later name, colonial name, but the original name is this of our land, and this is our symbol. Look at this. And where did he find this? He find this at the Jwari Monastery. Look at this Jwari Monastery right on top of the hill. That's where he found this inscription. How it goes back in time over across different parts of land. And look at this. Om is a symbol, not just here. Look at this Om symbol.
Celtic.
It's a Celtic symbol. Look at this Celtic symbol of Om. The Celts had it, which what you call the pagans. This is their harness. This is a symbol that they have. This is there in the Celtic World Book. Look at this. So it's traveled across and coming to your land of the Americas, especially this place called Sedona. That's where we happened to visit about more than 15 years ago. We went into the caves and all that. So look at this there. This is in the caves. Look at the symbol there. By the Native Americans. What are now called as Red Indians, unfortunately, but the Native Americans. Look at their symbols. Look at the symbol here. The sketches in their caves. And what do they say here? That the ancient ones meditated here in tune with nature. That is the Native Americans. Okay, that's what they did. So that is how they came up with the symbol. So there's a connect again, you see, and it was these two people, this couple who saw this first and they brought this forward to the world. A couple of centuries ago, about a century ago. So you see this connect of Om all over the world, how it's expressed in different parts of the world. And when you speak about this Om, look at this, how it's shown in the different Indian languages. It's a Bija Akshara. What does Bija mean? Bija seed. It's a seed of all that we have, and every language in India. Look at the way the Om is expressed. Have you ever seen this? Have you ever thought of this connect? How it's all connected?
They're connected visually. They are connected in sound, phonetically. And you will see that all the connection, not just amongst Indian languages, but world thought itself goes back to the start of creation. So Om and that sound, actually the sound in all civilizations seems to have a connect with source, with creation, with the start of the universe. So all of this, so we seem to be connected even at that level.
Seen that. Now let's see the reverberations of Om all over the world. When you have the Shanka, conch, the word conch itself comes from the word Shanka. When you have the, what do you get? The Nada Brahmam is Omkaram.
So all civilizations, you'll find this use of conch and conch blowing common across many civilizations, and the idea goes back to this eternal sound Om.
And look at this. And all of them link it to the sound from the skies. In India, you have got this. In different tribes also you have this. For example, in the tribe in Arunachal Pradesh, they have this sound of Om. Then you go to South Africa, they link it to that. You go to South America, and you go to Central America. Everywhere is again linked back to conch and this way of how they get it from the skies. And look at this in Buddhism, the hum sound. Here for Buddha, there are two people who are blowing the conch into his ears for the sound of hum, Om. This is a Tibetan painting, very old paintings. Look, it needs to be restored, but look at the beauty of the painting there. Buddha in dhyana, the sound Om there. And how do you welcome the Tibetan New Year? Losar, look at this huge Shankha. They welcome the New Year with that. And the bell, in every temple, you have a temple bell, Ganta, isn't it? And all this Ganta, what it does is, it gives a reverberation. What's the reverberation of? What do you call a ringara? That reverberation is again of this sound of Omkar. It's a continuous reverberation of it tries to bring out that. Then,
I mean, fundamentally, what we are seeing here is how people have revered the sound. Fundamentally, people, how they have sought a sound that can reverberate. See, you can have pleasing sounds, you can have melodious sounds. People like different sounds. But here you see that people are seeking a sound that has a reverberating quality in it. It doesn't die immediately. What is a reverberating sound? That which goes on and on for some time, right? So the sound of a Shankha, it goes on for some time. The sound of a Ghanta Mani, it rings, it goes on for some time, the ringaram that you hear. And likewise, the sounds from a string instrument that is vibrating, like the tanpura. So that is a connection you see here. And all these are linked to the idea of Om and the sound in the universe across civilizations.
Look at this. Everywhere you get to say, all of them have it for the sound of creation in their traditional way. Each one of them, in their own way, they carry it through. So that's continuous. And what about in chanting? You have Om. When you say Om, where does the sound Om come from? Can you all try to say Om and see where it comes from fully? Would you all like to give it a try? This group here, would you all like to breathe in first? Comfortably breathe in, sit back. Those who want to close your eyes, you can. And try to say Om and see where it emanates from. Om. Sorry. See where it emanates from. It comes from your Nabi. Isn't it? Your Nabi is your navel. So that's why it is Nabi. That's the key point. That's where it comes from. Right from your Nabi. All of the sounds come from your oral cavity.
And the idea is that it is a sound which starts here in your navel and keeps vibrating through all the way till it comes out. So this is the column of sound, and it's through this, it vibrates all the way through. So it just doesn't die here. It just doesn't originate and die here, but then comes all the way, keeps on vibrating and then emanates out.
Okay. Now, the point I'm going to ask is, who is the person, the figure, the personage who emanates from the Nabi of Narayana? Sound emanates, you see, from the Nabi. Who emanates from the Nabi of Narayana?
Brahma.
Brahmaji.
Huh?
Brahma.
And what is his role?
Creation.
Srishti, Srijan, creation. So, Srishti, Srijan, creation of Brahma, and the sound Om emanating from your Nabi. Look at the correlation there. Isn't it? So when people say, they show some tribal idea. No, look at the fundamental idea. It's a biological idea. The concept is so simple. And look at this, the progression of Om.
Sounds like there's an acquired hell and on like physical quality, and then becomes like thinner, like the hell.
that. So how the sound progress is also explained in our text. That's the beauty of it. Now coming on from there to the idea of the science of Om. Let's look at that. We'll look at it from two angles. One, the traditional angle and the modern angle. We'll look at two angles. Before we do it, we'll show you a short film, I think, on creation. Show that.
So we've been saying that Om is connected with the source, with the creation of the universe. How has this been expressed? We'll just very briefly touch upon how creation itself has been expressed in the Indian thought. See, in Indian thought, there is this expression of Hiranyagarbha. It's there in the Veda. And they talk about creation having started from this Hiranyagarbha. They say that Hiranya actually, it was two, it comes from two roots. Hiranya, which means golden hued, and Garbha, it means a womb. So Hiranyagarbha, it means a golden hued womb. So they're just talking, the Veda says that there is something which is actually the womb of creation. It is the bed from which creation starts. But it is just golden hued. It's just a light. It's just golden colored. There is nothing there. I mean, there are a lot of mantras before that, but in that they explain much more in detail about that nothingness which is there. But in this Hiranyagarbha Sukta, they talk about it as this golden hued womb. And at one point in time, this womb, this golden hued womb, Hiranyagarbha, it starts oscillating. And why is it oscillating? Because there are Indra and Vritra who are causing it to oscillate. Now you go deeper into understanding what is an Indra, what is a Vritra, you will find, and it says that there are two opposing forces. And they say that Indra is trying to push it open and Vritra is trying to bring it back together, hold it back together. And the names itself give you that connotation. See, the word Vritra comes from Vr, and the root Vr means to hold back, to stick together, to be sticky, to be cloud, like a cloud. So Vritra means a cloud actually, and therefore, and a cloud is trying to stick back. I mean, so it's trying to hold back the Hiranyagarbha. It's trying to stick it together. And Indra, look at it. Indra is associated with our senses, the Indriya. And what do the senses try to do? They're always trying to expand. So here is an Indra who is a force that is causing this Hiranyagarbha to open up, and Vritra is trying to hold back. And if you look at all our Puranas, they have so many legends about the Indra and the Vritra war. The war between the Deva and the Asura. And what is that war? It is fundamentally the Samudra Manthan between Indra and Vritra. And the same Samudra Manthan which happens in the Kshira Sagar, the Milky Ocean. And it is a similar Samudra Manthan which also happens in our minds, where thoughts come, each one pulling in one direction, and you keep weighing this way, should I or shouldn't I, before you keep taking decisions. Some decision is born out of
not
it.
to be.
So this Indra also, because this entire process of creation, the Veda explain it as actually starting from seeds of mind again. So the mind, the seeds of mind, they churn, and that churn of the seed of mind. So they are describing a beautiful state of manifestation from the unmanifested into a manifested state. From a state of absolute subtlety, from the para state to come to the apara and the manifested gross state. That is what they are trying to tell us through so many of these suktas and this beautiful depiction of Hiranyagarbha with the Indra Vritra war. But what happens is eventually Indra overcomes Vritra. And what happens to this Hiranyagarbha? It bursts open. And here you see a very beautiful similarity between the Vedic thought and the modern science, the thought in modern science about the Big Bang, cosmic Big Bang. So here also there is a Brahmanda Visfotak, universal explosion. The Hiranyagarbha bursts open and out spews all the different Mandakini. Mandakini means galaxies. So they all spew out. And along with that starts the sound of Om, which continues to echo throughout the universe. And now we come to how the traditional expression of the signs of Om has been shown. Look at this very beautiful way of depicting nada, sound. It's a subtle inner sound which is perennially flowing in the cosmos, very intrinsic to the creation process itself. And look at who they have chosen to represent it. We are so familiar with this figure, Narada, the Manasaputra of Brahma. So creator, creation, process of creation, and from there emanates Narada, the son of Brahma. And what is the unique capability of Narada? He can travel at free will through all the loka. He can travel throughout the cosmos anywhere at free will because he is that sound, nada, the sound of creation which pervades throughout the entire cosmos.
Look at his name itself, Nada. Nad, create sound. Narada.
And he is called a Triloka Sanchari, one who can travel to all the worlds.
And so that is how you get the idea of Brahma and his Manasaputra Narada. Look at that, how it leads on from the Nabi, we saw Brahma, from that we saw Narada, Nada. And look at this. This is the Vahana. What is the Vahana they use? There's something called Demki. Deki, Demki. So they will look at this Vahana.
And this is the
a very old sculpture. It's actually in Bengal. This is a very Bengali sculpture.
Very commonly common way of representing Narada's Vahan in Bengal. And it is this instrument that you use for dehusking grain.
Look at the connect. So nice.
This is what they call it as Demki.
In Bengal, this is very typically Bengal. Now let's go to Rig Veda. And they say this nada itself is in 4 distinct layers.
So they say that there are actually 4 stages for this sound. And they have given they've given 4 distinct names. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama and Vaikari. And they say of this, 3 of them are so subtle that they are established in secrecy, they are not manifested. It is only Vaikari, which is at the human level, which can be heard, which is made and heard for the human ear.
So the earlier 3 levels we don't hear. And
so here is another Veda, Rig Veda shloka, which says, mantra which says, 4 are the definite grades of speech. Those who are wise know them. 3 are kept concealed. They cause no motion. Men speak the 4th grade of speech. And this particular verse in the Rig Veda, it says about the sounds that manifested themselves at the time of creation. So very explicitly they say that.
And it's of the Panchabhuta, it's the Akasha state that has the Om in it, the Omkara in it, that possesses the Omkara, the Sabda. That's what it possesses.
And even in the 5 senses, so we have 5 elements. There is a very beautiful connect between the 5 elements and the 5 senses. And the 5 elements, Akasha being the foremost, the first, and that is the element which is connected with sound. And you need space. So Akasha, space and sound, they are very intrinsically connected. And you will realize that how do you detect direction? So you don't detect it with your eyes or anything. Your direction, fundamentally, the sense of direction comes to you from your ear, from the sound. That is what actually gives you the sense of direction.
Balance.
It gives you the sense of balance, yes, but also gives you the sense of direction. You can perceive whether it's coming from here or from here. So that is how space and sound are connected. And they talk about these various levels of sound. And so they say how it starts with the Mooladhara, so at your base, and then just as sprout comes out of seed, so also the Pashyanti emanates from the Para. So how the Para starts from the Mooladhara, from there emanates Pashyanti, and they say that the Manipura Chakra is the place of the Pashyanti. And from there, it acquires the name Madhyama when it comes to the heart and sounds like the thundering cloud. And see, elsewhere we saw that it starts rumbling with the rumbling sound of the clouds and ocean before it becomes thick like the sound of the bell and then becomes thin like that of the stringed and wind instruments.
So everywhere it's mentioned like this, let's see. I'll just take you one or two examples. I'll take the example of Saundarya Lahari. Any of you can say who authored this text, Saundarya Lahari? I'm sure quite a few of you know here.
Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya, and 40 verses before.
Just a moment.
Yes. Shankaracharya, 40
Yes,
verses,
yes.
and Saundarya Lahari.
Yes, Arunadi.
And Ananda Lahari, they are two separate, and they say first 40 are, from Shankaracharya, and other wrote someone else.
Yes. Now, what does the word Saundarya Lahari mean? Yes, it's about Devi, that's one side one. But what does the word itself mean? Before I go into the link, pause for a moment and think. Saundarya Lahari. Beautiful wave. Yeah, beautiful wave. Saundarya, beautiful. Lahari wave. Saundarya Lahari. Look at that. It speaks about the beautiful waves. And who speaks about wave concept? The scientific postulate of Saundarya Lahari, if you see, it speaks. It's a yukta of Shiva and Shakti. So Adi Shankara speaks about, and he speaks about the beautiful waves that emanate from the universe. Look at the name itself, Saundarya Lahari. So the idea of it was very well known, and many people have written about it, including Rishi Dirgatama. And look at the name Dirgatama. Tama means darkness. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Tama is darkness. Dirga, one who peers a lot into darkness. Dirga, long. One who peers, the Rishi who peered long into darkness. So that's how he's able to visualize it. What does he see? The dark space. That's where he picks it up from. And that's where he gives us the knowledge from. Isn't it? Like that. So every Upanishad and Purana, all the Upanishads speak about Om in their own ways. From Mandukya Upanishad, which speaks about the idea of Pranava, Omkara, that which makes Om, universals. It's the opening mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad, where everyone speaks about the idea of Om repeatedly in different Upanishads we have here. You also have the Dhyana Bindu Upanishad. See, so obviously it is the Pranava everybody speaks about. Similarly in Taittiriya Samhita as well. And in Chandogya Upanishad, it's spoken about the essence. And in Samaveda.
So here they are saying how earth is the essence of all beings, water is the essence of earth, plants are essence of water, humans are essence of plants. They keep going back and back, and speech is the essence of human. Rigveda is the essence of speech, and Samaveda is the essence of Rigveda, and essence of Samaveda is Udgita or Om.
See how they go step by step to Om. They sort of progress back to get to our Om. That's the beauty of understanding. That's so well said in Chandogya Upanishad. Now let's see. So the Gayatri Mantra is also all about Om. Isn't it? It's the Om which governs everything in the universe. Let that govern our minds. And this is the what we meditate. And who gave us this? Kaushika, Rishi Vishwamitra, who is a Kshatriya. So when people say this Om is for Brahmins, no, it's for all, because it was given by Kshatriya himself, Maharaja Kaushika, Vishwamitra. So this is who gave us of all the mantra, the highest of the mantra. See, when you describe Om, how do you describe Om in the Veda? Let's look at this verse. Beautiful. Let's look at this. This is the shloka that describes Veda. When Om, it says, in the beginning was Prajapati, with whom was the word. The word was verily the supreme being. This is what Rigveda says, describing Om. And Rigveda is at least 5,100 years and more, because the last compilation of Veda Vyasa happened about 5,000 years ago. Now, this concept traveled westward, as you already seen. Look at the same word is being expressed for explaining Amen by John the Baptist. He is the one who does baptism. Why is he called John the Baptist? Because he is the one who does baptism for Jesus Christ himself. And what does he give? Amen.
And he uses the same verse to explain Amen.
Look at this. So let's compare how the word Om is explained in the Rig Veda. In the beginning was Prajapati, with whom was the word. The word was verily the supreme being, is in Rig Veda. What is mentioned by John the Baptist in 1:14?
In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God.
That's why he explains Amen. Amen. Look at the similarity and and mind you, this and we spoke about the idea of Ma, right? Let's look at the simple thing. And Om. Where is so we have seen the origin of all of the whole universe from Om. Where is your origins from? From your mother. Isn't it? Amma, Ma. Why is that also with the same syllable Ma as in Om? Have you spared a thought for it? Because you're also coming from the same Garbha. If Om can come from Hiranya Garbha, where are you coming from? Are you not coming from the same Garbha? If Om is Ma, then why not your mother be Ma? Do you see the connect now? Is it not a biological connect? It's just not philosophical. It's very earthy, very earthly connect, isn't it? So in all languages, same.
While at one level you find very high cosmic and a spiritual connect in Om, on the other side you also see it at a very earthly level, at a very human level. Also you find the connect in sound, in visual you find the connect, and you find the connect in the concept of how a mother, the word for mother starts with the M sound.
This is so beautiful, simple but profound. Let's look at the modern Om. We have seen all that.
Now, there's a very, very interesting story actually. So amongst many of the experiments that were being conducted to go into the origin, the Big Bang, and understand the Big Bang, the effects of the Big Bang, how to detect Big Bang, and so on. So physicists about 50 years ago they had come to a conclusion that the Big Bang is still echoing in the universe. So that sound, remnants of that sound will still be there in the universe, and we should be able to detect it. So there were a couple of astrophysicists, theoretical physicists who were working very hard to detect this sound. They were conducting experiments to detect this sound. At the same time, there were two other physicists who were doing some other experiment, and they were also using radio telescopes, and they were trying to intercept the waves coming through space and conduct some other experiment. So their telescope, which was horn-shaped, also picked up the radio waves, and they were called Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson. And they tried hard. They thought there is some bad signal that's coming. It shouldn't be coming. We don't want the sound. So they went and kept on repeatedly checking their antenna. And they thought perhaps it's some dirt there. They would go scrub it and then again try and measure. And every time they kept repeatedly getting this sound, it just wouldn't go away. The signal just wouldn't go away. And finally, therefore, they reported this, saying we have detected the sound, and therefore they came up with a report which said that there is some background sound, which is radiation. Because what is sound? It's nothing but a microwave. It's a wave, after all, electromagnetic wave. So there is a electromagnetic radiation which persists in the universe and just won't go away. It is always there. In whichever direction you go, it pervades the universe, was their report. And therefore, what did they get? They got the Nobel Prize. Because why? They had found the remnants of this Big Bang.
Sound, the echoing sound of the Big Bang, which we have been saying as Ohm for 5, 6, 7, 8 millennia. For recording it in a material manner, they got the Nobel Prize for this. Actually, they're not looking for this, but accidentally they got it. So they received it was a very inadvertent discovery. Because they're working on some other.
So at Bell Laboratories, they got this particular steamy sound. From every point in the sky, whether day or night, whatever be the season, it persists throughout in the universe. And from then on, it started getting the name Cosmic Microwave Background Radiation, CMBR.
Because there were a few others also trying to see if the sound was actually.
So these were the
other scientists trying for it.
They were actually looking for it, and they couldn't get it for whatever reason. Their experiment conditions and equipment, they didn't get it. But these people, these other two who were not looking for it, actually ended up getting it.
So that's how we had this idea of these two people getting the Nobel Prize. The story is there of how they got it, and then they phoned up to the other professor and said they described the problem. But what the other scientists realized is these two have got the sound what he was searching for. They have recorded. That's how they got this in modern science. So finally, these two people, they received the Nobel Prize in 1978 for this. While they didn't fully understand what they had found, they got the Nobel Prize for it. That's how modern science works, I guess. That's fine. But the point is, look at this. So many people after started experimenting on this to get this sound and how this, and they say this so many years old. That's all again, question of time frame, where it comes from. Different voyagers and different things have sort of picked up the sound now. All of them from across the universe. We'll just try to show you a film. We made on Ohm. We'll just show you 2 films.
So this is one of the theoretical astrophysicists from Geneva, from CERN, Geneva.
CERN, Geneva.
She's an Indian by birth, and Dr. Archana Sharma, who worked with us on this film. So this is her comments about the Ohm and the correlation in modern science.
The ancient Indian seers have connected with the event of the Brahmanda Visfotak, or the Big Bang, through Ohm, the sound created by the Big Bang, which has since been reverberating throughout the universe. Ohm is called Pranava, or the primordial sound, the breath of the universe.
A major breakthrough in our understanding of the workings of the universe came about when two physicists in 1978, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, discovered an ever-pervading microwave background radiation. This lent credibility to the fact that we are mere remains of an event that happened far beyond our comprehension of space and time. This cosmic wave background is a reverberation of that event and serves as a constant reminder of that event, namely the Big Bang.
Isn't this similar to the concept of Om? So, what we have been talking about from a spiritual plane and realizing that at a physical plane, this is the sound that actually Para to actually manifested world and continues to stay with us even after the start of creation and is living through us. It is pervading through the universe all the while and will continue to do so for time immemorial till as long as the universe lasts. And this is the idea that our ancients have always been talking about, have conveyed to us, and have also used this as a tool to help us connect back spiritually as far as we can go, to understand that there is a para. So this is what we have got as a legacy from our ancestors, from our civilization, and that is what today we understand as the cosmic microwave background radiation.
So this comes from all sides, this sound, and comes from solar wind and all that. So it's everywhere what you see. Different people have tried recording it in their own ways, and all of them get the sound without faith. That's the beauty of it. This is
so beautiful. Although space is a vacuum, this does not mean that there is no sound. It only means that there is no air in space to act as a medium to transmit sound waves to our ear. Nevertheless, sound exists. The specially designed instruments on board these probes were designed to pick up and record these vibrational frequencies. These vibration frequencies are all exactly within the range of human hearing, 20 to 20,000.
So you now see there are 4 levels, and what you get only we get here with our ear is only I carry the 4th level. Earlier 3 levels we don't get to hear with the human ear. That's what you see. And use this in many ways, in medicine, in modern, every way you started using Om. People have started using it now. So the world is becoming aware of Om in multiple ways over the last 50 years. Before it was not known in these ways. That's the beauty of it.
So fundamentally, what we are seeing is that we are told to meditate on Om. We are told that Om calms you, and we find it. I mean, we say Om, it brings in a sense of calm. And why is this so? Because we are all beginning to vibrate and come in resonance with the sound, with frequency that is actually pervading through the universe. So it reinforces the idea of being in sync with the universe, in sync with the cosmos, in sync with the Rita in the cosmos, the order in the cosmos, which is what Dharma is all about. The Dharma of the universe is order, Rita. It's very, very different from the Western view. In Western view, the universe is chaotic. There's chaos. In the Indian view, there is Dharma, there is Rita, there is order. The universe is not chaos. And there is Rita, there is order in the universe.
And look at the word Rita. Look at the word Rita. What is the English word for Rita? Of course, you've got the word Ritu for seasons, which comes cyclically. The English word for Rita is rhythm. Isn't it? So look at the word. So it's rhythmic. It's cyclical rhythm. That's why
there is a pattern. There is an order.
Now we'll show you one more short film.
So Om is a medium that can connect both from our physical to the subtle and it can connect us with the cosmos, because it is fundamentally, it is that which can bring us in sync and to get into a harmony with what is going on in the universe, and also bring us into harmony. So when we all chant Om together, it brings us into harmony as well, which is why many of our sessions, Indians have always started and ended with the chanting of Om.
Omkar.
And we will just show you a very small clip that shows how the beautiful blend. So this idea of spirituality and science is not something that we are realizing in the modern generation today. Our ancestors have also spoken about how both perspectives are very important to understand the world as a whole. They say existence as a whole needs a view of both a spiritual perspective and a scientific perspective. One without the other will lead you into blindness, into darkness. It will not give you a full understanding. You need to look at it both spiritually and scientifically. And that is what we will see in this particular short clip, which is also a chanting, a beautiful chanting.
You may ask if the ancient Rishi had realized, relished, and shared with us the knowledge of the process of creation in the form of the concept of divinities in the Veda, the Purana, in the scriptures and sculptures, then where is the need to do further scientific research and conduct expensive experiments to unravel the mysteries of the universe?
The answer to this question lies in the Ishavasya Upanishad, one of the primary, equally ancient explanatory texts of the Veda. The Ishavasya Upanishad had obviously thought of this question and had preemptively answered it many thousand years ago itself.
Andhantamah pravishanti ye vidyamupasate tato bhoja jivate tamo yavo vidyaya aggarataha vidyancha yastadvedo bhajagge saha avidyaya mrityuntirtva vidyaya mritamashnute andhantamah pravishanti ye sambhotimupasate tato bhoja jivate tamo javo sambhotyaggarataha sambhotincha vinashancha yastadvedo bhajagge saha vinashena mrityuntirtva sambhotyamritamashnute.
We are advised by the text that the pursuit of the unmanifested reality, the spiritual sciences alone, or the pursuit of the manifested or the material sciences alone will lead us to further darkness and misunderstanding. This universe and the creation is a mix of both the manifested and the unmanifested, and a healthy mix of understanding of both will give rise to a simple answer that Dr. Penrose is looking for.
We had a path-breaking moment in science with Einstein's revelation of the relation between mass and energy. How mass and energy are interconverted. Energy in the universe is a constant. With a combined understanding of creation from the material sciences perspective and the ancient spiritual expression of science, we can perhaps hope to reach the next path-breaking moment in mankind's pursuit of science, namely the unraveling of the relation between the manifested and the unmanifested, the relation between matter and consciousness, how the total of all matter and consciousness leads to the all-pervading Prakriti or nature, the scientific divinity.
So here we see how it has to be a intertwining of both, not just look at modern science or ancient science alone. That's the beauty of what we have to understand, and not look at either one of it alone. So all this data is, there are more films on Om itself available in our Bharath Gyan website and our YouTube channel. We have written 2 books on this subject. We'll just show you the 2 book covers for you to access from our website, so that those who want info on this, so we'll just show you where it is for you to access on your own. Just a moment, please.
So there is actually a playlist in our YouTube channel which is called Creation Srishti Vigyana, and you will find about 37 short films like this
on creation alone. The 30+ short film only on creation, each 2-3 minutes like you can watch comfortably, and you share with your friends and family, those who could not join for this program, so they can watch this.
So
and
this is our channel Bharath Gyan, youtube.com/Bharath Gyan. You come here, you just go to playlist, and then you scroll down, you will find the creation playlist.
There are a lot of other short films also you can watch as you want. You can do that. Then you can go in, when you go into the Bharath Gyan website. Actually, before that, there's another short film in when you go to the Bharath Gyan website, you will get to see 2 books. We'll just show you the 2 book covers. Those who want to read more data on this, it's there in the book, you can read. Incidentally, Hema gave a full TEDx talk only on creation and Om. It's available in our YouTube channel. You can watch. Those who want to watch, you can watch it there. It's an 18-minute TEDx talk. And this is the book Creation. This is the what we spoke about Om and Hiranyagarbha is available there for all of you too. It's available in our website. You can pick it up. There's also another book called Brand Bharat. That has also got all this data on Om that you want, about how the Om has traversed through the world. Both of it you can, those who want, you can, those who, since some of you mentioned that you want further read on this, we are saying where it is available for you, that's all.
And there is yet another book which is called Brand Bharat, Unique to India. It has a full chapter on what we just spoke today. So if you want to just go back to what was discussed, you can find this in this particular book, Brand Bharat, Unique to India.
You can use it. That's one. This is the book, Unique to India. You can take from there. And any questions, we'll be happy to take questions for next few minutes, given the permission of the moderator, Mrs. Ashna Sharma. I'm sorry, Aruna Sharma. My apologies, Aruna Sharma ji. Plus, the scientist with whom we interacted for making this Om film was Aruna Sharma. See, similarity. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Any more questions? And those who, because tomorrow evening, same time, we are giving another talk on a different subject. Our good friend Dr. Pankaj Parikh from Raleigh, North Carolina has put it up. So those who welcome there for that also. Okay. Any questions on today's session? We'll be happy to take. You want to put it on chat box or you want to ask out now? Both ways welcome.
You can go on chat
Thank
box.
you all for really sitting and hearing to all these things.
So the session for question and answer is open now, and thank you so much for your brilliant presentation. And I would like to invite you again on Adi Shesha. Of course, we are talking about the energy.
It will be a pleasure to do that on Adi Shesha. It's a lovely topic. It's a lovely topic. We'll be happy to do it. Anytime you let us know, we'll be glad to do it.
Okay. Thank you so much. And we will take now question.
Thank you, Ramji. Thank you.
Any.
Hari, I have a comment. I was in Egypt and I went to the Nile, they took us to a village, Nubia. And there, the person in the village showed me the sign of a sale, number of things, and Om. Then I asked him, what is the Om? He said, peace, prosperity, and fertility, this sound. But it's not for sale. So, but that's not for the sale. He was not going to sell me that. He kept it the sign. It is a sign from their village. And it's that village is supposed to be the cradle of civilization from Egypt. So oldest place there. So when you showed me the Karnak temple and that, I remember that.
Yeah, it's in Karnak, Thebes. this temple of
Luxor.
Luxor, the
Yes.
temple of Amun.
Amun, yes.
The whole idea of that we could do, because Amun itself is a full subject.
Yes.
We could deal on that if you, because that's understanding is essential of Amun.
There's a lot of similarity between the Indian civilization and the Egyptian civilization. You see so many such points of connect.
Yes.
Amazing that we had this 5,000 years ago.
And our guide was all the time telling me, us, our whole group, that's for India, this is thing, and this is Egypt. It's like
Yes.
all the time.
Right. But there's another thing they say, at the moment you land in Egypt and they know you're from India, then the first word that comes out is Amitabh.
Amitabh Bachchan, they say.
That's right, Amitabh.
Now Amitabh.
Yeah, and then it's a really remarkable, like we have this Uma Devi's name, as we use Parvati's name. I think it came from this humming sound, this you're talking about, the Amma or the, Uma, and the echoing sound. I think it should be like that, and like Indra, like in Vedas and the Upanishad, they talk about, Indhan, like prana, energy force, energy source.
Yes.
So all
Right.
these words, if you combine, bring just let it go in your mind how the rishis have put it all together. So fascinating. Very,
Yes.
very
Thank
nice. Yeah.
You
Thank you
just
so
have to savor the connect. I mean, look at it.
Right.
Shiva's name is Omkara.
Omkara.
Right, yeah.
And I'll just tell you. And Mr. Sehwag, thank you for joining in. So kind of you. He's from Europe. He's joined in. Yes, we'd be happy to interact with you on this subject. Yes, we need to work. I know you are in the field of astrophysics and all that, so we need to work with Sehwag. Certainly, we'd be happy to do that with you. Okay, lovely. And thank you, Ram sir, for this. Your so nice compliments. Thank you so much. And I would like to say one thing. Those of you who want to unravel more of this data, we are taking a course on exploring Hindu contributions to the world, starting January 15 as a full course for Hindu University America. This is starting from January 15. All the details is available in our Bharath Gyan website, www.bharathgyan, bharatgyan.com. Go there, all the details available. We'll put it up in the chat box now. So the course data is available. Those who want to join the course, study layered manner, step by step, you are certainly welcome to. We'd love to interact with you there more in detail in the course starting in 10 days time. Okay, so that's possible.
Are only the male deities associated with Om?
No. All okay. No. Omkaram is not gender specific.
See, okay. The reason why you, just to give it in a very brief manner, why you associate Omkar, Omkareshwar with Shiva, and incidentally, Shiva is only one of the male divinities. I mean, there are so many male divinities, but you associate Omkar with Shiva because, see, look at this process of Om. It is happening at the time of manifestation, right? So where the creation, the Srijan is happening and the universe is getting manifested, at that point in time is when the Om is giving, Om is born.